is my update number 2 for Project Level Up. This was a project that was created by Sofie Alexandra. I will go ahead and link her intro channel down below. But basically, it's a year-long project, and there are 5 levels, if not more. However, if you want to go further than 5, you can. But you basically randomly pick out a palette that you want to go ahead and get use out of. And for the first level, you're going to use every shadow once, but you have to hit pan in one of those shadows. Once you meet those 2 goals, you move that palette out of the project and you randomly select a new one. And then it's number 2. So you're on the second level now. So it's hit every shade twice and then hit pan into the shades. And then so on and so forth until you get to level 5. After you complete the goals for 5, then you can go ahead and reset the project back to level 1, or you can keep going. I chose to go up to level 5 and then reset, so that's the way that I'm doing. I believe that's the way Sofie said she's doing it. The palette that the Wheel app chose was the Cargo in the Northern Lights palette. And this was a palette that I never really used that much before. I think if anything, I maybe swatched it a few times. So it was pretty much a brand new palette to me, even though it's one of my older ones. I will post a picture of what it looked like in the intro. But I did meet the goals as far as hitting all the shades or using all the shades twice, if not more. And I also hit pan into the shades. And so this is what my palette looks like now. It was very, very well used. I really did enjoy using it. As you can see, I hit pan in Aurora, which was like a deep pinky shade, a shimmer shade. And this was Reindeer, which I believe this was a satin, but it came more with more, I don't know, matte. But it was, I think, I don't think any of these were mattes. Yeah, I think they were all either satins and shimmers. But in the other one, this was Reindeer. So I will post a picture too of looks that I, created using this palette alone. I am obviously doing the Project Pan palette, Hit Pan, so I'm working through a lot of shades. I'm working through a lot of palettes in that project as well. And so there were a few pictures that I might post here. If not here, then I'll post them in my Project Pan update, where I used a combination of this palette along with palettes from that project. So I will, though, definitely post all the pictures that I used, specifically in this project only. But I got very good use out of it. I really did enjoy using it. I will also post a picture of the shades or what the palette looked like, and then, how many times I used each shade so you can see. But just to go over some of the shades or, go over the palette real quick and how I used it. Polar right here, I used as an inner corner or brow bone highlight. Lapland, I used as, I believe, either under the lash line or as like an outer V. Aurora, I used either as a topper or I used it, on my eyelid. Iceland, I used as a brow bone highlight, as well as sometimes I put it underneath my eye right here. I think I also used Polar, because I used Polar quite a bit. Yeah, I used Polar like 7 times. I want to say I think I used Polar too to lighten up an eyeshadow. I just tapped it on top of a darker eyeshadow to lighten it up. Caspian Sea, this shade was really, really pretty. I believe I used this. I can't remember if I used it as a lid or as an outer corner. I can't remember. Arctic, outer corner. I don't know how to say this. Is it Fjord or Jord? But this I used, on top of my lid. Glacier was underneath my lash line or in the outer corner. And Finland, I used, again, on my lid. I think I used this as a combination one time. Osetra, I think I used that as I can't remember. It was probably either a lid or outer corner. Reindeer I used as just to deepen the outer V. And when I say this is probably my favorite shade. I think in the beginning I was saying how I really like Caspian Sea, Aurora, Fjord, that's how you say it, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, and Reindeer. So those were sort of my focus shadows, or I think even I mentioned Finland. But when I started using Reindeer, and I only used it, I think, Reindeer, I hit pan in it in 4 times. I really wanted to use it more because I really did like the shade. It is just such a pretty, like, deep, it's like a deep red but it has brown to it. It was just so pretty, and it's nothing that I have in my other palettes that I'm working on. So I was really loved working with that one. And Greenland, I think I used as just like under the lash line. So yeah, I mean, I really did enjoy using this palette. I can't speak of anything really negative to say as far as the shades not working. They were all very blendable. The pigment was really nice. I will say that I'm working on another cargo palette in the Project Pan Hit Pan project. It's the Meet Me in Paris cargo palette. And that one, the shadows are much more creamier than in here. But it's funny because there is like a world of difference as far as how they apply the blendability and the staying power. Like these, and these are all satins and shimmers. And none of them, I don't think, or I don't remember, have the creamy texture like the other palette does. The blendability on these shadows are much more better than the other palette, I'm finding out. The pigmentation, I think, is better. The staying power is better. I noticed, and I'll probably say the same thing when I do the update for the Pan That palette. But the staying power is not that great on those shadows. I know, I realize I have to like build them up more. And in some of the shadows, like the one I'm wearing today, because the eye look I have today is from that other palette. But I had to use, like, I used a purple eyeliner and smudge that out and then put the purple on top to make it like just, you know, appear more, the color appear more like, I guess, vivid. And for it to stay longer, I had to literally touch up every time I did a look with that palette. So with this one, I didn't. I did my makeup and that was it. And I like that because obviously I don't feel like once I do my makeup, that's it. I don't feel like retouching up. And I normally don't. I just did for that particular palette because I just wanted to see like what the deal was, because I just didn't understand why it wasn't staying. Like the shadows weren't really staying. I do have oily lids, so, you know, I know that, you know, my makeup will crease at some point, and it is what it is because of my eyelids are oily. But on the whole, I can get a full day, 14 hours or whatever of wear on my eyeshadows, you know, and then at the end of the night, like at 10 o'clock at night or whatever, it will start creasing a little bit. But those shadows, for whatever reason, you can see they started creasing within maybe I would say 4 or 5 hours, and normally that's not the case for me. So I really did like that about this palette, that the eyeshadows were long. So I really, again, enjoyed the palette, loved using it, but it is going back since I met my goal. Okay, so now that I've reached level 2 and I've completed that, I'm leveling up to level 3. So I'm going to use the Wheel app on my phone. So here's the phone. Here's the Wheel app. I'm picking eye palettes. I don't know if you can see it. And so, okay, so here's the app. So with this one now, I have to do a goal of, in the palette, I have to use each shade 3 times, as well as hit pan in 3 of the shadows. So let's see which one we pick, or which one this one picks. Can you see? Let's see. I can't see from here, so I have to turn it around to me. Okay, this is the Tarteist Pro. So let me grab this palette and I'll be right back. All right, so this is the palette. It's the I don't know if you say Tarteist or Tarteist Pro, but here it is. Again, this is one of my older palettes. Oh, you guys, it's just what it is. Yes, I don't believe, again, it's going to be probably the same song and dance every time I bring in a new palette. I don't believe I've used this one. No, actually, I might have used this one. I know, I think I did a video and I swatched everything. I want to say I used this at least once because I do see a few shadows where it looks like it's more than a swatch, but yeah. But yeah, I'll just try to lift it up high so the mirror's not there. Ooh, I don't know. I might have to take a picture if the glare is too much for you guys to see. But basically, this is my starting point. I mean, as you can see on the whole, it has not, there's no dips in there, is pretty much what I'm trying to say. There's no dips. That might be a little bit better. So this is a gorgeous palette. I remember getting, or being so excited when I got this palette. Again, it's just one of those things. It's just too many palettes and I just didn't use them. That's why, again, I'm just so thankful for these projects because this really does help me get used out of my palettes. And I'm having so much fun using them. I truly am. So, yeah, so this is what it looks like. Oh, I just don't know how it's going to be. I know there's so much shimmer coming from the actual palette itself. But yeah, as you can see, I mean, I haven't used anything as far as, like I said, any dips. I want to try to stay away. I mean, okay, let me start over. I love how it has all these palettes and then you have these little row of shimmers right here. And with the other palettes and my other ones that are going to be coming into my project pan, because I'll have to do an update on that one. But I believe that there are a lot of shimmery shades, so I'm glad that there's a palette that has a ton of mattes that I can work from. So I will say, for 3 of the pans that need to be, or no, 3 of the shadows that need to hit pan on, 2 of them will most likely be probably some of these transition shades. And I'll try maybe one of them over here. But this is a gorgeous palette. I stink at doing swatches, so I'm not even going to try. I might, however, maybe just do them on my arm and take a picture and I'll insert it somewhere here so you can see what they look like. But yeah, on camera and live, I just stink at doing swatches. So yeah, so this is the palette we're going to be working out of. All right, I will be back for when I complete this next level. I hope you guys are all doing great on your projects, whether it be on your eyeshadow projects or your other makeup items or other beauty items. Let me know what you're working on down below. And until the next time, I hope you guys are each having a blessed day. Bye, guys.